So a little bit later, post teardown, I went ahead and cleaned up the calipers. So this is the right one, but the left one looks the same. A lot of wire brushes involved, many batteries and charges involved, probably about 3 or 4 hours. I'm sure some people are more efficient than I am, but there was a lot of buildup on these. There were years and years and hundreds of thousands of miles, I have no doubt, on these calipers, but they cleaned up nicely. You can see the aluminum finish is in overall good shape still after I took off all the oxidation and road grime, brake dust, etc. Highly recommend you wear a mask if you're gonna do this. It's just not good to be breathing that in. With that said, there's some crevices that you can't quite reach with the wire wheels. I didn't find, for example, the Dremel brand wheels work pretty well, the wire wheels, but I also picked up these brushes with the hope that they would be good at getting into the tight spots, and while they were okay getting in the tight spots, they're made out of stainless steel, picked them up at Harbor Freight. They blackened the aluminum, so not really what I was going for, didn't like that contrast. So breaking out the trusty brush, so I'm gonna get a little bit more of this done with the brush, and then hopefully move toward assembling or reassembling the pistons and seals into the caliper. So I've cleaned out the bores for the pistons and blown them out with compressed air. You can see they're clean, no pitting, no debris. Try to get the light for you. This is what you want to see before you go forward and install the pistons and seals back into the bores. So get them looking nice and tidy like that, and then you can move forward installing the kit. So I'll get to that in just a minute. One thing that I did point out, or I do want to point out, is the bleeder screw. This was the foul one from the 2 calipers that I picked up. You can see the corrosion and debris. This is after hitting it with a wire wheel. It was too far gone for me to have confidence that it was going to properly seal in the threaded retaining position. So picked up these from the auto parts store. A pack of 4 or 5 was the same price as one from Toyota. Fits nicely, and certainly gives me a little more confidence as well that things are going to seal well. So something else to consider as you're doing this. So here we are with the piston, and this is a seal. And I know I've seen people put these on after the fact. I feel like I'm going to have an easier time doing it before. It's pretty easy, so maybe I'm wrong about that. Now, these are the seals that go into the bore, or the groove of the bore, through which this will slide, and it's supposed to be a pretty snug fit, and that will prevent the brake fluid from passing past the piston. At least that's the concept. if I've done everything right, hopefully that will be my reality as well. Now, I understand that it's best to put a little bit of brake fluid on the brake fluid on the piston itself, and maybe on the seal to help lubricate in advance of putting it on. So I'm going to do that. So let me try one more thing. Let me try a different bore and see if I have any different luck. Well, not surprising. No, I am getting this one to, I think, move. Yeah, this one's going in. So that's good. That's good to see the movement. So as you can see, got that down. And now, before I go any further, I guess I can. Yeah, before I go any further, I think I'm going to remove that other ring, inspect it, put it back in there again, and then try again. Maybe I've got something behind. I do see what appears to be the edge of that rubber kind of gasket seal sticking out on one side. So maybe I didn't get that inner groove cleaned out adequately. So let me go back and do that. So what I'm trying to do here is get the piston, this one right here, inside, fully pushed up. And if I squeeze about as hard as I can with my fingers like this, I can get it to move. But I mean, it's quite a squeeze. And it's got a little bit of space to go. I've got this one. So what I've got is a 19mm socket, which fits well in the center there. And if you're stouter than I, you can squeeze it with your hands, but I'm pretty confident that this is not going to be a problem as far as well, that was timely as far as getting this pulled in. So I'm going to use a C-clamp on the backside, protect the housing of the aluminum. I realize this is overkill with a piece of scrap cardboard, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull to get tightened up. I'll put it this way so you can hopefully kind of see what's going on. And then out comes the little socket. It's a matter of arranging the boot. It just pulls over the, it's basically already there, but pulls over the lip of the space, and you can see. So you can see I've already got a ring here. I gotta put a ring on this one, so let me grab the snap ring and again, when you have 4-piston caliper, you don't have the clearance that you would quite have on another set, but using a screwdriver or some sort of other object, you need to carefully get the ring placed down in the channel without damaging your boot. You don't want to poke a hole in your nice new boot as you put the ring down. So pay attention to what you're doing. Carefully position the retaining ring around the perimeter of your boot, and it will hold tension, essentially holding the boot between the outer lip of the bore where the piston went in, so as to prevent the boot holding the boot in place. Yeah, I think I've got it down in the back, so I believe we're in good shape now. I know it's difficult to see, but got both rings on there. So one side. So on this caliper, I've got one piston. That's an angle you can see. One piston I still lack. This one right here. This one I need to go ahead and mash down. This one, I'm just having a heck of a time getting it to seat past the seal. So time will tell if this was a bad idea or not, but I've gone ahead and I've placed that piston in the freezer to try and slightly reduce its overall diameter, in hopes that I could get, I may need a bigger clamp on this side because I've got to overcome this, we'll see. But the brake line attaches right behind this piston, and so I may need a bigger clamp. Nope, I'll not. I'll make it with this one. But in hopes of reducing the overall diameter of the other piston by granted microns, I'm hoping to be able to fit it in to this other side, but I'm just not able to fit it past the seal. And I've gone back and I've re-cleaned and cleaned and lubricated, you know, with brake fluid the little retaining position where the seal fits, the little crevice in which it locates, you know, it seats, and there's nothing there. I don't know what the issue is. I've gotten the caliper out. All of the pistons are the same diameter, circumference, and I just don't know what it is that's preventing me from getting that one in. So hopefully that method will work. Okay, we've got that guy seated. Now it's a matter of another retaining ring. So I'm getting better. So I got that one in, or I'm getting more efficient. I wouldn't necessarily say better, but more efficient at getting those rings on. That's the third one. So now I've got 3 pistons in. In a little bit, I'm going to go get the 4th out of the freezer. And then at that point, we'll go ahead and see if I can have that final one fit into the bore successfully. And we'll wrap this first caliper up and move on to the second. So I'm putting in the last caliper, sorry, the last piston in the second of the 2 calipers here. The thing of it was, for some reason, one of the seals, the inner seals in the kit I got initially was, it was either bad from the start or I somehow damaged it. I'll take responsibility for damaging it because I wouldn't be surprised if it was my fault due to it being the first one I tried. But try as I might, I was unable to get this piston in. I feel like I should have gone ahead and mashed it down when I was pressing it in the first time. I may have to get my clamp out. This one just doesn't move as easily as the other side did in terms of pistons moving back and forth on this side, and I was able to squeeze it in so far, but you can see it's still out there, so I'm going to grab my 3-inch clamp. Okay, so the piston's all the way recessed, and pardon me. Take our 19mm out, and then this snap ring, retaining ring, will go in next. So I've come a long way since breaking a bolt attempting to take the calipers off of the LS400 I removed them from, the cleanup, and then the piston install into the calipers. Now the one piston that was giving me problems turned out to be, it just needed a new seal. Either it was defective or I damaged it. Even the piston in the freezer trick wasn't enough to work with that seal. So with a new seal, I was back in business. Now from this point, I applied caliper paint and decals to the calipers, and that kind of completes part 2 of this series. Now from here on, I'll do the brake hardware install, followed by the installation of the calipers onto the car. If that interests you, you'll want to check out those episodes as well. Thanks for watching.